This is an absolutely insane story, and I have no idea if any of it is true, but I choose to believe that the most entertaining outcome is the likeliest. So, for context, between the years of 2010 and 2017, the older brother of Miley Cyrus, Trace Cyrus, and the Disney actress Brenda Song were in a public relationship. They were also briefly engaged, I think, for from 2011 to 2012. I wonder why they would break the engagement and then continue dating, but it sounds like they had a tumultuous relationship based on what Trace Cyrus has just exposed about Brenda Song on Instagram. This was something he said in his comment section to a follower just yesterday. He was talking about Brenda Song, and they were kind of hinting at why she broke up with him, and he said, because she stole thousands of dollars from me and faked multiple pregnancies and lied about being terminally ill to make my family and I think she had breast cancer and a brain tumor. It was all a lie. She was humiliated to ever show her face around my family again once we figured it out, and my mom confronted her and called her out on all of it. Thanks for reminding me of another scenario where I was a great loving person and someone did me wrong for no reason. I think we're only hearing Trace's side of
Yeah, much
this,
as I said earlier, where, you know, maybe those men weren't getting a fair shake. You know, the inverse could likely be true now. Maybe we're only hearing one side of the story. However, that side is really funny. So
if even one of those things is true of Brenda Song, that is just absolutely insane. Like, there's nothing that could justify that.
Yeah.
So he went into further detail saying, oh, she also faked an abortion with fake blood covering the bathroom floor, and my mom and I rushed her to an OBGYN. That's when all the lies started unraveling, and we realized it was fake. The funniest part, though, is when she showed up after getting the quote-unquote brain tumor removed from the best surgeon in Chicago, she claimed. She didn't realize we were catching on to her lies, so when she showed up to my house with a bandage on her head, claiming she just got out of surgery, I ripped it off, exposing no surgery had been done.
Yeah, he's either telling the truth or he's just a really bad liar, because he's given two examples of actually going to see a doctor, which would be recorded, which means that she could go get the medical records and prove it happened.
Well, she could prove that she visited those doctors, but not that she had...
She can prove that she had brain surgery, all right.
The medical emergencies in question.
Well, if she's got an insurance bill for brain surgery, like she had brain surgery.
Right.
That's what I mean,
So,
is, you know...
I mean, a lot of people are taking Brenda Song's side, which is just exemplary of the landscape of, you know, gender dynamics.
He deserved to be lied to about brain cancer.
This is why Brazen Cyrus is my favorite. No drama.
Love seeing women in male-dominated fields. Yes, con woman. I don't care. This is my mother. She can do what she wants. All I see is a baddie putting her needs first. And another one said, so you're saying you assaulted her after she just got out of brain surgery?
Yeah, it's not a good look right there. Like, what if he had been wrong?
That's even
What if he'd been wrong, he rips the bandage off,
What
and
if
she's
all
legit,
the rest
like...
of it were lies, but just that one part of it was true?
He's like, so you faked an abortion, but the brain surgery was real?
Now, in present day, Brenda Song has long since been happily married to fellow child star Macaulay Culkin. They have children together. Maybe she would just, you know, maybe Macaulay Culkin would see this and he'll be like, what was this all about? You faked having cancer, Brenda? She'll just be like, I was crazy back then.
Her
know?
kids are like, I can't go to school. I've got a cold. She's like, believe me, I know when someone's faking an illness, and you, sir, are not getting out of school today.
But it's not really a male-dominated field, because for the most part, when we've seen stories similar to this,
faked medical conditions. There was
it's been women.
Grey's Anatomy writer who got a job on Grey's Anatomy by pretending to have cancer.
She pretended to have cancer.
Oh,
She pretended
you can't
it was terminal, that she was going through chemo. She shaved her head, all the things.
The longer she lived, the more suspicious it got.
She pretended to have nausea symptoms as well, while she was working on the show, and everyone bought it. And she was exposed later on after the fact. That's Munchausen's, not Munchausen's by proxy. And then I uncovered some other interesting posts from Trace Cyrus that might illustrate what kind of person we're talking about here. Is he a reliable narrator of his own life? This was his admission that he, in fact, has cheated at least one time. He said, "Women will leave their dream man because he cheated one time, then go be with a guy they like way less who isn't as successful or good looking usually, thinking they'll be loyal, then get cheated on again, then wish they would have just stayed with their dream guy. The reality of the world is men don't need to have emotional connection to be intimate. It can literally mean nothing to them and they still love their girl deeply." I'm not saying that's the correct way to conduct yourself in a relationship, but it's the reality of the world we live in. There's temptation everywhere for successful men. I'm sorry, it's just such a reach as Trace Cyrus to refer to yourself as one of these like highly successful, like top tier men. And then sometimes they fall into it. It doesn't change the love they have for their girl. If a girl cheats, it's usually a thought out emotional decision, usually in retaliation. When they cheat, it's about revenge and not even about enjoyment for them. And once a woman cheats, the relationship is done forever. Respect is lost. So basically he's saying when a guy cheats, it's excusable. You should look past it and move on. When a woman cheats, there's no recovering from that. Which is just him probably making excuses for his own actions.
Do you think he's right about the second part, that when women cheat, it's a more thought out emotional plan as opposed to a guy who just like, he tripped, he fell, he landed on top of another woman. Whoa, holy shit.
I think that it is more likely for a woman to premeditate cheating than for a man to premeditate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Men
are very impulsive.
I think men are more likely to cheat on impulse, in the moment because of lust, not because of any, highly calculated, manipulative move. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that part, but then the rest of it is just him excusing himself for his own mistakes.
It's funny because I recently started rewatching season 1 of True Detective. I was thinking about what a bad person Hart is at his core, because he just cheats on his wife, and he's an evangelical who cheats on his wife, but is always kind of lecturing others. And he grows in the show, but it's kind of shown that way in the series. It's like, look, he does some bad stuff, but he's a good guy who fights evil and catches serial killers. He's not a bad person. He's complicated.
He's morally gray. I found another post from Trace Cyrus where he was talking about the trail of heartbreak that he leaves behind him for all of these women who are just yearning for him after they're broken up. He said, "I genuinely feel bad for any girl I've been with that has to live with the regret of losing me. There's girls I've dated." It's a wild statement.
Look, most men would aspire to this level of self-confidence.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
that is just delusion.
Maybe the delusional confidence he has is what makes him attractive to a lot of these women. There's girls I've dated even over a decade ago still trying to get another chance with me. Some of them are in new relationships and have to settle for what I know they find less desirable, but they've settled for what they can get. These beautiful women everywhere, but there actually aren't many good, attractive, hard-working men with high values and morals. Like me.
At ladies, least he didn't say high value man.
Yeah.
He basically did, though.
I appreciate his ability
Men with high value.
I appreciate his ability to get away from the buzz term.
Ladies, if you find one of these men, do all you can to hold on to him. Don't allow petty emotions and irrational decisions cause you to lose a man that truly loves you.
You're acting crazy.
Can we read it in a Trump voice?
You're acting crazy like your mother.
In a Trump voice? Any man who thinks highly of himself and knows his value will have no problem walking away from a relationship if he isn't being treated with the love and respect he knows he deserves.
Yep.
No girl that lost me has had their life improved by me no longer being a part of it.
I can hear him saying it.
It's so real.
That's
actually reminds me.
Textbook narcissistic personality disorder.
It reminds me of Trump's posts about Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
When he was like, "Don't give her another chance, Rob. She's a cheater. Once a cheater, always a cheater."
Yeah.
That technically qualifies him as always a cheater, then.
I guess so. Well, he was saying, Rob, you're so much better than that. You don't deserve that type of treatment. You know, you're an Adonis.
Yep.
I guess Trace Cyrus just thinks that he's a morally upstanding, highly intelligent, highly successful, mega wealthy male supermodel.
I gotta be honest, I'm on Brenda's side now, unequivocally. I believe her.
Did you see this 50?
Oh, no, I did not.
From Barbara, is that Butterbaugh?
Looks like it.
Hope you guys stay safe tomorrow with the riots. Thank you.
Well, we're far away enough from DC where we're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, nobody's rioting out here.
If anything, I wish that I could attend the military parade, but I've got something going on.
The closest town to this has like one road.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and then there's a town right next to it.
Even if I wanted to go to the military parade, there's like no way that you can park, so I'm just out of luck. But yeah, I don't know if I do take sides, but I'm starting to see Brenda as more of a sympathetic character in this story.
Oh.
Maybe they were both toxic. Maybe it was a mutually destructive relationship.
It was both their faults that she faked brain cancer. That's what it is.
Yeah. I just feel like she probably didn't fake brain cancer.
But why would that's such a weird thing to lie about? You're lying about someone else faking brain cancer? And it's so specific. All of the details are just so weirdly specific.
We're going to need the mom to speak up and tell us whether this is true or not.
Yeah, Tish, please corroborate this.
I need to know.
We need a fact check. We need a community note on this from Tish.
I'm sure she's going to push back and say... No, she probably won't address this.
I mean, they had bigger problems back then. I think they were more worried about Miley Cyrus crashing out in her bangers era than whoever Trace was dating at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't,
if any of you in the chat, by the way, have like a similar experience of dating someone who is like a pathological liar or something like that, I would love to hear your stories.
Where they tell you they're pregnant just to keep you around.
Yeah.
And then
lie. I've heard about someone who's done that.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
This does fall into the realm, which happens sometimes with these types of stories, where the writing is so detailed that it's there's one of two schools of thought. Either it's overly detailed and it feels like they're over-explaining in a way to make it seem crazier.
Yeah.
Or there's so many details that there's no possible way it could be fake, and it's a fine line between the two.
I don't know, adding too much detail is a hallmark of a lie.
If we were to flip this on its head and take the Me Too stance on this from the pro-Me Too activists, they'd say, well, there's no such thing as the perfect victim. So if he is the perfect victim, if he's the victim here, well, yeah, sure, he's like narcissistic and borderline sociopathic in his thinking, but, you know, there's no such thing as the perfect victim. So, you know, just because he comes across as an overly confident, bloviating bad person doesn't mean he deserved to have his emotions wrenched and lied to about his girlfriend having brain cancer.
Right, exactly. So now we've gone full believe all men. Yeah. Hashtag believe all men.
Yeah, I stand with Trace Cyrus. Okay.
I mean, he's a funny person.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.